Okay, class, Professor K here. Today we're going to do an exercise learning all about value patterns. And what I have up first is a value pattern exercise that's done in color theory class. And this is one where they're using paint. And again, I'm showing this, the painted versions, we're going to be doing it in pencil, and we're also going to be doing something slightly different. But basically, with a value pattern, it's the simplest way to understand values of having a light, medium, and dark value, okay? The light values are considered high key, mid values, that 50% is considered mid key, and the dark ones are considered low key. If you take a simple design like this geometric design with triangles, and you repeat the same design 6 times, all you're doing is rotating those values into different positions. So, and they can't repeat more than twice in the same place. So here's a 50% here, call it the foreground, 50% here, and then it's black, not black, but dark, and then it's light. The reverse here, dark, and then it's light, and so on. Here's the light values, and then these are adjusted and alternating there. There's only 6 possibilities. A lot of times students struggle, stumbling, trying to figure they've run out of possibilities. No. There's 6 possibilities of rotating these 3 values into different positions. And when you've done it 6 times, you've exhausted the possibilities. So this is one version. The only difference that we're going to do is we're going to do pencil version on the left side of just nice, smooth, even tone values. And on the right side, we're going to do things where we create texture. And we're going to have a stipple effect, a line effect, and a crosshatch effect. So this is one version. Let me show you another one where a student got more creative. And this one here, and it kind of flipped it too, just to be creative and mess with me. But it has this coyote with a moon behind it. Again, 3 separate areas. Very important to have 3 distinctly separated areas. And here it's dark, medium, light. Okay, medium, light, dark, medium, and so on. And this is a lot more work. This student actually painted and cut these different things out of paper and glued it all down. So that's why it looks kind of so crisp and precise. For what we're doing, let me show the template sheet first. Here's the template sheet. It has the whole exercise. You have this. You're going to have this document ready to go. Actually, it's already uploaded in the assignment page as uploaded files. This is the template page, so it has the 6 boxes already drawn for you. These boxes are 1.5 inches by 3 inches. I'm letting you work directly on the copy paper. If you print your copy of this, assuming you have a printer, you can work right on this paper. If not, simply do it neatly as you can. Just draw 6 boxes that are 1.5 inches by 3 inches, and it can be on regular drawing paper, whatever it is that you want to work on. So now if you go strictly by these directions, I haven't been able to upload adjust this file. Okay, so this is a copy of the file of the document, so it doesn't allude to the texture things that are going to go on the right side. So you're going to have 3 solutions over here just based on smooth, even tone, and then 3 textural solutions on the right side. They're still going to do the same thing. They're all still going to deal with light, medium, and dark value. The values that I'm assigning, if one reads through this, is like a 20% gray, a 50% gray, and an 80% gray. There's no white, there's no pure black. These are just shades that you're going to reach using pencil. So let me take this and go to another page which is kind of helpful. This is a page that shows you how you can rotate the values around. And again, you could just do it, and trust me, you do it 6 different ways, you're done. But this, if you're stuck, this kind of shows you. Let's say that 1 is the light value, 2 is the medium value, 3 is the dark value. So just by doing this drawing, I've done, and don't do this where you put dark, where you put numbers on here. This is just for your information. So you see here's 1, 2, and 3. Here's 1, 3, and 2, the opposite. Here's 2 and 1 and 3, 2, 1 and 3, and rotate it around again so you've exhausted the possibilities. So 1 could represent, in this scenario, the light gray. 2 could represent the middle. 3 could represent the dark. It's that easy. All right. If you wanted to see what this will, well, let me go to this sheet. This is a sheet where I've made a few of these. I'm using a circle here and going forward. Okay, and what I've done for this circle is actually used a quarter. So if I take a quarter here and kind of draw around it, you can see there's another one, and you want 6 of these, the exact same design, as close as possible. You could also put pencil on the back and trace these things off onto another sheet, but I think it's just as easy if you have a simple design just to repeat the design. All right, let me go to this sheet for a second. This is the actual assignment. This is what you are going to produce and hand in. So this is the best one to look at, as opposed to the ones where from my color theory paint, where they use paint. So in pencil, here's the dark value, here's the light value, here's the middle value. Going down that line, you can mix and match any way that you want. It doesn't matter which ones are going to be on the right side or left. Here it's dark, medium, light, and then it's medium, light, dark. So on this side, this first one is made up of just taking the pencil and doing stipple dots, very light dots to make the light value, a little bit more substantial dots and pressure to make the medium value, and then really kind of bouncing that pencil on there pretty hard. They almost come off like little dashes to make that darker value. Okay, through here, this textural treatment is made of just repeated lines next to each other, parallel lines. I'm doing it on an angle. You could do it across, you could do it vertical, but it's just repeating lines. And as you're repeating these lines, again, the dark, putting more pressure, tighter together to make this dark value. In the background, very, very light lines, to make this light value, what would be like the 20% gray, and then the same thing in the middle. A little more pressure, a little more tighter together to make this 50% value. Okay, the last one here is what? One of the most fun things to work with when you're kind of sketching and you want to add tone and you want to add some interest is a crosshatch effect. So on the bottom, this is very, 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 very light. Lines go in this way and lines go in this way to make the crosshatch. Same thing in the middle, lines go in this way and then the opposite crossing over to make the middle value, and then in the background really dark lines together and then rotating around to cross over onto that one. So that's it. You do this on that sheet or separately if you want on the sketch paper, the drawing paper, and you're done. That's what you're going to assemble to get back to me to complete the project. Okay, you wanted to see a tiny bit of a demonstration for the ones that are on the right side here. Okay, if I'm doing that stipple effect, let's say for argument's sake that the sun or circle here is going to be the light value. Very, very light dots are going to go on here with the pencil to make that light value. And what happens is as you're doing it, as you kind of back away and even squint your eyes a little bit, it starts to come off like a tone. All right? If the bottom value is going to be the one that's really dark, this is where you would literally have to really, really jam that pencil down hard and just cover it. Again, you're not drawing, you're dotting, but you're making these dots extremely strong and tight together so that when they all combine, they make a pretty dark value. And then the middle value is obviously what you think it would be, somewhere between the two. All right, this one here, again, is based on parallel lines. Let's say for the middle that this was going to be the medium value. Don't worry about precision, but as good as you can, neatly as you can, trying to stay within the lines. Just making repeated lines. All right, my lines are getting a little screwy there, but it doesn't quite matter. Again, it's an exercise. This is not finished art. So there's a value that would represent my middle value. I'm going to go really dark and hard on the lead and tight together for that dark value. The light value would kind of would come off kind of like that. All right, and so on. And you get the idea back here. Again, if you were drawing that really dark, you would end up with lines like that to make that extremely dark value for that third part. Crosshatch is exactly what it sounds like. Let's say, for argument's sake, again, that this is the light value in the middle. I'd be doing extremely light lines, pressing very little on the lead, and then coming around and doing it as a crosshatch. Okay, and there's my middle. It's probably a little bit darker than I would like. And then just to jump ahead again, if this bottom part was the dark one, the 80% value, okay, I'm just going to go really, really hard with that lead. You can go over it back and forth. Cross hatching doesn't have to reach all the way. You can work in little areas, as long as you're going an angle one way and crossing it opposite the angle the other way. So that takes you through the textural parts. The other ones I don't have here. I'm not doing a demo. It's very simple. Again, these are the ones where you're just laying down that tone as smooth and even as possible, even though it's a pencil. Obviously, the paint works much better. If we go back to take a quick look at this one, yeah, it's nice to have the luxury of paint where you have a beautiful, even, flat tone. But this is a drawing class, so we're back to doing this. And it gives you a lot of discipline to start to be able to handle this pencil and control these tones. The overall goal of this project is that you're understanding this cool part of design, that as long as you have three values that are very distinct from each other, 20%, 50%, 80%, no matter how you move those values around, you're always going to have a cohesive design. You're going to have contrast. Underline that word. You're going to have contrast in your design so that you can see separation from these shapes. If I took this shape here, and that's a 50% gray, and then I put in the background here next to it a 40% gray, trust me, if you squint your eyes, these two will get lost and they'll blend together. So that's it. I don't know, I'm looking if there's any other sheets that I have on here, but that is it. And again, this is what the finished project would look like here. So you would take a photo of this or scan it. If you're working without all that information on top and you're just drawing these things onto the sketch paper, absolutely fine. It does not matter. The sketch paper will, by the way, work a little bit better, okay, in terms of how you're putting tone down. But since this is already set up for you, I'm making that exception on this project that you can work directly on the copy paper if you want to make life a little bit easier. And again, it's an exercise. It's more about giving you an understanding of how these values, three simple values, can work together, and giving you a little bit more practice, if you will, exploring and using your pencils and getting comfortable to do certain things with the pencils. And I think to do the textural part, it gets kind of boring to go through these three and then just continue through the whole project that way. So to do these three and then cross over into these textural ones should be, I dare say, fun. So this is therapy, right? Considering everything we're going through right now, working on a project like this, you should enjoy it. And email if you have any questions to me through students that are in my class. And thank you. I think that is it.